So we've got some panelists, some experts who have looked in the crystal ball, and they are ready to share some really interesting insights, what to expect, and what this means for you and your organization.
What I will be doing is I'm going to go through each and every one of the trends and explain to you why we think this trend will continue in 2022 and beyond. You will notice that the contact tracing apps is being used in all countries, some more than the rest. Whichever country you go to, there's going to be the VTL, vaccinated travel lanes, that will require downloads of that country's contact tracing apps. You see lots of COVID-19 spams because these hackers will be using COVID-19 to prey on you, the remote worker. And in many cases, the systems are stressed out. Look at the number of permissions. So when it first rolled out, a lot of people were concerned. And if you take a look at the analysis that we have done, you will see that in Indonesia's case, we were very concerned. We were shocked that last year, the COVID tracking app that we just talked about got breached.
If you can imagine when the pandemic first hit Indonesia, the government are scrambling to not only to provide the health services needed, but also they need to provide some sort of a system that can not only trace, but a system that they can use to monitor the situation. They embarked on a very, if I can call it, adventurous project in developing several big systems. And in order for this system to be connected, what they ended up was with a very, very integrated infrastructure with the priority of being able to pass data from one application to the other. Now, unfortunately, in order for them to be able to do this, they put security in second place.
Maybe I'm too risk averse, but I've got my main phone here in Singapore, it's got Trace Together on it, it's got my banking apps on it. If and when we start to be able to travel again, and if I have to download the local Trace Together version of every country, I'm going to buy a new phone, just a cheap one. If I was a bad guy and I was thinking, how can I get into people's personal data? How can I get into their banking apps? I would try and put malware into the Trace Together type apps. And on people's phone, that can be attacked.
Yeah.
I think you've got to remember that a lot of the phishing scams are done by people that have got 24/7 to think up things that are going to really trick you.
So the videos here are your staff trained, and here's our advice. Don't just say, avoid phishing. Give them specific scenarios. Don't click if you have certain kind of messaging. So if you take a look at last year, it is shocking. We want everyone to be aware that moving forward, you're going to see abuse of AI technology, deepfakes, as part of identity theft and part of the hacking strategies. So you need to take this into account in your data protection or privacy practice. And I've put in something called Don't Watch Netflix Employer Syndrome. Many employees are concerned that while you're working from home, are you really doing work?
Yes, definitely this is happening. So that's a lot of monitoring that are being done by organizations. And in our workstations, definitely there are CCTVs that are installed. And all of these are being replicated in a work from home environment by a lot of companies. They're monitoring whether the employees are actually putting in the work that is required.
You got to watch the crackdown by the Chinese government, and they are very particular. They're now very conscious because we know that today's mobile apps, there's abuse of the permissions. There are trackers inside, and you will start to see more enforcements happening, not just in China, but in our part of the world. This is only a set of internet giants here, and you can see that Amazon picked up the heaviest fine so far, 746 million euros. All the big giants have got into trouble. And if this can happen to them, what about the smaller companies? Because they're all doing the same thing. Continued interest in data protection trust mark, but the certification is not just for organizations. We already know the data protection laws require DPOs, and also fueled by the fact that there are many data and privacy breaches. So companies will have to do something about it, not just in Singapore, but the region as a whole. What we did was we just looked at 1 month of job postings, and we do that every year so that we have a baseline. So our estimation was easily about close to 4,000 jobs were created.
It's not just the numbers, it's seniority as well. And pay, of course, goes with that. And I talk to people that are trying to hire in either lawyers or not lawyers for these roles, and they struggle to find candidates in Singapore because there's such demand now.
We took part in a project with the Ministry of Cominfo, and as part of the project, we had to analyze the required number of DPO available in Indonesia within the next 5 years. And the number is quite similar to what you mentioned about in China. So in the hundreds of thousands, over 150,000 DPO required in the next 5 years.
Wow. And what's interesting here is you will notice that because of the Chinese data protection law, IPP is forecasting that there's a need for 500,000. We know that the shortage of DPOs will continue when the new laws are being introduced, especially in Thailand, India, and of course, Indonesia.
For more data protection resources, visit www.dpexnetwork.org, the Data Protection Excellence Network, and sign up for free as a member to have full access to all content. Do also like and follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn if you found this useful.